There is a table, not a metaphorical one, a literal negotiating table, the kind built over 80 years of summits, phone calls, handshakes, and treaties. It survived the Berlin airlift. It survived the Cuban Missile Crisis. It survived 9/11, the 2008 collapse, a global pandemic. That table was flipped, officially, permanently. January 20th, 2026, 10:14 a.m., Davos, Switzerland. Before Washington finished its first briefing, before Wall Street opened, before anyone in the West Wing even checked their phones, Mark Carney, a central banker turned prime minister from a country America keeps calling a farm, walked to a podium at the World Economic Forum and said 7 words that rewired the global economy. We are in the midst of a rupture. It's called the EU CPTPP Trade and Investment Alliance. $30 trillion in combined economic weight, 40 nations, 1.5 billion people, 32% of global GDP, 37% of all global trade, and the United States is not on that list. This isn't a diplomatic spat. This is an architectural shift. The alliance America led since World War II, the rules-based order it bled for, built for, and paid for. Over, restructured, redirected. Not by China, not by Russia, by Canada. By a former Bank of England governor with a briefcase and a spreadsheet. In 12 minutes, I'll show you the phone call where Trump demanded Canada stop being a country. The market verdict. What money did the second the alliance was announced? The Truth Social meltdown. All caps, zero strategy, 11 posts in 90 minutes. And why your grocery bill, your 401k, and your national security are all now downstream of this decision. You are watching the post-war order get dismantled in real time. Not by an enemy, by an ally who got tired of being threatened. Don't look away. It started with a phone call. March 2025. Trump called Carney. It was supposed to be routine, a standard leader-to-leader check-in about trade tensions, tariffs, schedules. It became something else entirely. According to Radio Canada, CBC, and 3 senior sources briefed on the conversation, Trump raised the idea of Canada becoming the 51st state of the United States. Not hypothetically, not as a joke, as a demand. Demand 1. Accept the framing. Trump told the leader of 40 million people, the world's 9th largest economy, a nuclear-adjacent NATO member, to consider voluntarily dissolving Canadian sovereignty. He wasn't offering partnership. He wasn't offering a deal. He was offering absorption. He wasn't offering A, B, or C. It's economic insanity dressed up as patriotism. Demand 2. Drop the China pivot. Ottawa had begun exploratory trade conversations with Beijing, standard economic diversification. Trump told Carney to kill it, full stop. Any Canadian trade deal touching China would be treated as an act of economic betrayal. Demand 3, the breaking point. If Carney thinks he is going to make a deal with China and use Canada as a drop-off point to attack the United States, then we will put 100% tariffs on everything they sell into our great country. That's not diplomacy. That's a ransom note. A long, very Canadian silence followed. The kind that doesn't mean confusion, it means calculation. Carney confirmed Trump raised the 51st state idea. His public response, delivered with the precision of a central banker, Canada is not for sale. Then he got to work. Within 72 hours, emergency cabinet convened. Trade ministers dispatched to Brussels, Tokyo, Canberra, Singapore. Within 30 days, first formal EU CPTPP dialogue framework announced. Within 90 days, Carney was on a plane to Beijing. Trump called at a normal hour and called Canada his future property. Carney hung up and built a $30 trillion alliance that cuts out the United States. That's what happens when you confuse patience for weakness. We do evidence here, not narrative, not spin, documents, data, receipts. Receipt 1, the Davos Declaration, principled and pragmatic, Canada's path. Delivered January 20th, 2026, World Economic Forum, Davos. This was not a speech. It was an architectural blueprint, delivered in public, on purpose, so every ally in the room understood what was being offered. Carney said, Middle powers must act together, because if we are not at the table, we are on the menu. He said, the old comfortable assumption is no longer valid. He said, the power of legitimacy, integrity, and rules will remain strong, even as great powers choose otherwise. Analysts at Politico called it the most consequential speech by a G7 leader since Brexit. Carnegie Endowment wrote a full brief on it within 48 hours. Trump's response? He withdrew Canada's invitation to join his Board of Peace, an organization he created to manage the Gaza reconstruction, within 72 hours of the speech. He kicked Canada out of his peace club because a Canadian said middle powers deserve a seat at the table. Let that sink in. Receipt 2. The market verdict. Money doesn't lie. Let's listen. Following the formal EU CPTPP dialogue launch in November 2025 and the Davos speech in January 2026, gold spiked to $4,748 per ounce, a record high, with investors fleeing the dollar into hard assets. The US dollar index headed for its biggest single-day decline since April as the Sell America trade accelerated. US bond yields spiked, meaning your mortgage, your car loan, your credit card rate, all going up. Canadian dollar and Asian market indices rallied on diversification optimism. CNBC labeled it the Sell America trade. Reuters called it a vote of no confidence in U.S. economic stability. The market isn't a Democrat or a Republican. The market looked at a 100% tariff threat against America's closest ally and said, "We want out." Receipt 3. The Trump meltdown. Within 72 hours of Carney's Davos speech, multiple Truth Social posts, escalating, incoherent, all caps. Post 1. Canada was using China to attack the United States, a country that has never attacked the United States. Post 2. Carney was a radical left lunatic, a man who ran the Bank of England, the Bank of Canada, and just won a national election. Post 3. 100% tariffs on all Canadian goods if Ottawa so much as had a trade conversation with Beijing. Post 4. The Board of Peace revocation. Canada is no longer welcome. Then a letter. An actual formal letter threatening 35% tariffs on Canadian exports. All caps. All fury. Zero strategy. He threatened to economically annihilate the country that shares 5,500 miles of undefended border with the United States. The country that co-invented Five Eyes intelligence. The country that sent soldiers to Afghanistan, 2 world wars, and Korea. Every allied capital is now asking the same question. If this is the price of American friendship, can we afford it? Why Trump cannot stop this bleeding, and why he doesn't even know it's happening. Trump's model. Dominance hierarchy. He is the alpha. Everyone submits. If they don't, they're punished until they do. This works in boardrooms, casino negotiations, reality television. It does not work in global capital allocation. Capital is not a person. You cannot bully it. You cannot tweet at it. You cannot threaten it with a 100% tariff and watch it flinch. Capital is water. It flows towards safety, away from heat. Here is the doom loop. Trump claims you need us. Carney proves they don't. Each refutation forces a louder claim. Each louder claim accelerates the exodus, until the alpha is standing alone, shouting at walls, while the rest of the world signs paperwork in Brussels. Where Trump is loud, Carney is quiet. Where Trump threatens, Carney calculates. Where Trump demands loyalty, Carney offers contracts. Where Trump revokes invitations, Carney signs frameworks. The core insight, buried in a spreadsheet somewhere in Ottawa. Power doesn't come from being feared. It comes from being trusted. And in a world where the United States is threatening its own allies with 100% tariffs, boring is worth billions. Trump demands loyalty. Carney earns trust. Trump treats allies as tenants. Carney treats allies as investors. This isn't happening somewhere else. It's happening in your wallet, right now. Your prices. The EU CPTPP alliance exists because America made importing from America unpredictable. Supply chains are rerouting. When supply chains reroute, transition costs get passed downstream to you. A 25% tariff on a $40,000 car becomes a $50,000 car. You don't buy American instead. Ford raises prices too, because they can. You have no leverage. The manufacturer does. Your 401k. The Sell America trade is real. The dollar index dropped. S&P volatility spiked. Meanwhile, Canadian, British, Australian, and Indo-Pacific indices rallied on alliance optimism. Your retirement portfolio is absorbing the cost of a trade war your government started with its own friends. Your national security. Five Eyes is the backbone of Western intelligence. Canada, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, the United States. The most sacred intelligence sharing partnership on Earth. When Trump threatened Canada with 100% tariffs and kicked them off his peace board, he put a price tag on that partnership. If Five Eyes fractures, Americans die. Not metaphorically, literally. Your reputation. For 80 years, Ally of America meant guaranteed security, innovation, growth. That brand is now a liability in 40 capitals. It took 8 decades to build. It took one Truth Social post to start the demolition. Right now, in 40 capitals from Brussels to Tokyo to Ottawa to Canberra, there are rooms full of trade lawyers, supply chain engineers, central bankers, not writing threat letters, writing framework agreements, building the infrastructure of a world that works with or without Washington. 2,000 miles north of Mar-a-Lago, in the offices of Global Affairs Canada, they are not panicking. They are printing the alliance roster. Because Mark Carney walked to a podium in Davos and said 11 words that changed everything. If we are not at the table, we are on the menu. And then he built the table. Trump started this fire because he thought Canada would burn. Canada handed Carney a match and said, build something better. Every bucket of water Trump throws turns out to be gasoline. How many allies have to leave before this stops being a talking point and starts being a national crisis? If you're in a state that exports goods to Canada, auto parts in Michigan, lumber in the Pacific Northwest, energy in North Dakota, how does this feel? Is this the deal you were promised? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one.